This is the meta Hunter Strand build for PvE. Strongest build you could possibly get that we know of right now, with all of the different fragments and aspects being tested. And I'm going to demonstrate why it's so powerful. And the reason why it's powerful is because it gives you the most survivability, because you're going to get woven mail indefinitely, and you don't have to reload your weapons, so you can have insane DPS output. And we can also get infinite special, which ties into more just these specific armor mods, but we're going to talk specifically about this build more than anything right here. Okay, so first things first, you're going to want to create a grapple point. So I'll make one over there and cancel it by pushing grenade again. And after you do so, then you can fire 2 rockets, and then you can use that grapple point to reload those rockets immediately, and you continuously do that. So you can see your damage output is going to be insane, because it's like you have instant no reload for your G-Horn. And that's why that's super strong. We'll go through exactly why that is. Of course, we're rocking Silk Strike. We're using Gambler's Dodge so we can get our melee back. We're using Triple Jump, Threaded Strike, or Threaded Spike rather, and then we have the Grapple Melee is going to be the one we go for. It's definitely the best for this reason alone. You can just infinitely reload your weapons because of Thread of Ascent right here. This is so strong and so good, and it pairs really well with the helmet. We'll go over that in a moment. And then the next part we're going to talk about is there's a lot of different fragment options, but I definitely chose these for a specific reason. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy, and you use your class ability to suspend targets when you're on Hunter. And so when you see a pile of ads, you'll do that. They'll all be suspended, and then you'll clear them out in whatever way you want to. Fire fusion, whatever you got on. I would say rock double special for this build, but you don't have to. And in doing so, you'll just get your class ability back immediately. So I think that synergy is really nice. And I like the loop between that, even though that doesn't play into the exotic helmet just yet. Then we have Threat of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the targets. So if you are using a precision weapon in any way, using an SMG, sniper, whatever it may be, you can just tag them and it'll sever them. And then it lowers their damage output, which really helps for survivability. And then we have Thread of Continuity, which is going to make suspended targets hang for a little bit longer. It increases the effects of sever and everything else. This is really, really strong. So that's going to be all of the fragment choices and the grenade. As far as weapon goes, again, you can rock anything you want. You don't have to rock double special, but I like to rock double special. You don't have to rock G-Horn, you can rock anything. As far as the armor goes, this exotic helmet is so good, because just like we were doing before with those grapple points, every time I create that grapple point and cancel that, I have woven mail on the side, you can see there. And every time I re-grapple that, I don't have to use it just for reloading my weapons. I can just re-grapple that, and now I have woven mail again, so I have huge damage resist. And I can just continuously do this as I go through any encounter, as I run through any activity. We're running through the new raid, for example, and we're about to run into enemies. I can see the red on my radar. You just create a grapple point, woven mail, and then go through clearing the ads. As soon as my woven mail is getting low, just re-grapple it really quickly, refresh woven mail. I have insane survivability, so unbelievably strong due to that helmet and the fragment combination. On the helmet, I just have Solar Siphon. You could pair this with whatever, you know, affinity, energy, or power weapon you're using, or even for your kinetic if you want, if you're primarily using that, just so I can create some orbs. And then we have Heavy Ammo Finder, just so I get as much power ammo back. Doesn't really tie into the build too much. I just like having the power ammo as much as possible, because I got infinite special, and we'll get to that in a moment. For the gauntlet, we're rocking double grenade kickstart, and that's so that way when I apply that grapple point, you'll notice I get my grenade back super fast because I'm grappling to it. Like right now, I have 1 grenade and I have 75% of my second one, but as soon as I grapple and cancel that one, I'm already back to my full grenade. So that's why that works really well. Grenade kickstart is excellent for that. And then Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when causing damage with a melee attack. Because I'm not really causing damage with my grenade, I decided to use that one just in case I need to get my class ability back. After I've cleared all of the enemies in an area and there's just 1 enemy left, I'll probably have a grapple point up, and then I would just grapple to that point, and then hit a grapple melee on some enemy, and then, because that's a lot stronger, it does like a lot more damage than your normal melee, and that would help me get my class ability back. Perhaps after I've suspended them as well. And then on the chest, you can rock anything, just rock whatever fits the encounter best. You can rock melee damage resistance if you're getting in close. You can rock sniper if you're keeping your distance, stasis, concussive dampener. Doesn't really matter too much. On the boots, we are rocking stacks for stacks. This will be essential to our infinite special ammo loop. Only 1 person on your team needs to do this, so keep that in mind. I'm just making infinite special ammo. Not everyone has to do this, so if you have someone on your team already doing this loop, like I've talked about, I made this video before talking about infinite special ammo, then don't have everyone on the team doing it, but for this video's sake, I decided to put this on here because it complements the build well. And this is actually the build that I would use for my team going into the raid on my hunter when we do the hunter run for myself. And then recuperation, so when I pick up an orb, it gives me some health. And then we have insulation, reduce my class ability whenever I pick up an orb. Again, the reason why is just because I will be suspending targets from time to time. And when I do so, I want to get my class ability back faster. And I have infinite grenade loop and everything, so that's why I chose that. And then on the class item, this one's important. You're going to need the double empowered finish like we talked about before. And a special finisher will be really nice. And when you do that, when you finish one enemy, you'll get the 3 armor charge stacks. And then you'll finish the next target and you'll just drop special bricks for every single finish while you keep those ×3 armor charges. Now you could also add in here, if you don't want something like this, you could add in your solar weapon surge. For me, for example, I'm using solar weapons, or you can add in arc or whatever affinity weapons you want to use, so if you want to buff the damage of those weapons. And I would recommend doing that from time to time because it's not entirely necessary for this loot. So I would probably change that up a little bit on this build and take off this mobility mod and put on the solar weapon stuff. But for this, I just wanted to demonstrate the ability spam that I'm able to get done with this. And this build is super strong, like I said, best build for survivability and for just spamming your ammo as much as possible. Really good DPS build because of the ability to not have to reload your rockets. And for stats, we're going with 100 resilience because we want that survivability. 100 discipline is nice because I will get my grenade back faster when I do those grapple points. It's not entirely necessary. Could probably go 80 or lower potentially. Keep it up pretty high, but not too low. Mobility is nice, so I can use my class ability to suspend targets. And the melee is even nice because it can sever targets, even though it's not the focal point of this build. It is nice to have the melee, so my split is 60, 140, 120, and then 60. So this build is insane, though. This is for sure the strongest build right now. This is the build. If any hunters are going into the new raid, they're probably bringing this build right here. Maybe a void build, but if you're going to use Strand, it's this. This is the build right here. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.